You're never a writer, you're always becoming a writer. You have to wake up and reinvent it every day. I always loved writing. I was always a listener, and I wrote poems when I was a kid and wrote stories and plays and made my own magazines and wrote little novels. I grew up surrounded by amazing stories, and you can even see it in my early plays and in my early poems and stuff. I was very inspired by the stories of my neighbors in Philadelphia, and I would tell their stories, and they came from all walks of life. I was always a sponge for that kind of thing, and when I was a little older and the elder generation, my family, started passing away, I had a sense of a little bit of a call to arms that I wanted to preserve some of the stories they told me that I thought, wow, those are worth preserving, and I don't think people know those stories. In the Heights was such a special time in my life. There was this point of view that was joyous about it. That was it felt like home to me. People are learning about their culture. What's a piragua? What's, what was Mayor LaGuardia's relationship with the Latino community? All these little questions that crop up and that students email you because they're trying to learn. It only makes sense that R.Evolución Latina was born of that In the Heights love and community sense and that commitment to that connection. One of the things I've really treasured about Puerto Rican culture, this notion of being humble and being of service. There's a sentence from my play Water by the Spoonful that says that someone refused to be enslaved but lived to serve. And that really struck me as something very Puerto Rican that I try to emulate in whatever way I can. Well, The Happiest Song Plays Last it feels like it's a real seed from my heart. Somehow it's a play that, I don't know, feels closest to my heart. It's a fictional story, but it has elements of real life because I have found sometimes I just can't get better than real life. How do we live a contemporary life? How do you be a modern woman and yet still be a servant to the community? There will be live musicians on stage. We have some killer Latino actors. We have a wonderful director. One of the most special things is Nelson Gonzalez. He is going to be composing and music directing a live trio of musicians on stage that are going to take the drama and the comedy to a whole nother level just through that song. I think writing and being an artist and actually living this life is about honoring the dichotomies that are always around us. You know, we're alive and we're gonna die. That's the basic one. But I find that every little dichotomy that reveals itself to me is a treasure for writing and for life. You know, you always need a yin and yang. If there's joy, if there's laughter, there has to be, something deeper under there too. And yet you can't go in the deep for too long. You gotta juggle, you gotta make it light. And so I think going beyond is not just limiting ourselves to the moment we find ourselves in, but always pushing to see what's on the other side of that moment. What's the cause and effect? Where's the next moment that this is going to lead me to? And I think as an artist, that daring to go beyond, that taking the next step beyond the moment you're in, it's the thrill of the chase and the love of the craft and the chasing life.